Hey guys, Omni here. We are back for episode 9 of season 6 of Better Call Saul. This is the final season, and last episode wrapped up Lalo's storyline and his feud with Gus, and left a little bit, even more of a nasty taste in our mouths now when we go back and watch Breaking Bad. And anytime we're in that lab, just to think that both Lalo and Howard are buried just beneath Walt and Jesse's feet that entire time. It's wild, man. And to be fair, like, everything was left, like, Lalo's fate was up in the air. We had no idea what happened to him. We knew Gus would survive. We knew how that was going to go down, but we had no idea the fate of Lalo, considering all the references we have in Breaking Bad were just a few lines from Jimmy saying that, like, hey, did Lalo send you? Whatever. Like, presuming that still to this day, to present day, Jimmy doesn't know what happened to Lalo. And they fill that in this. They don't ever tell him what happened, just that he's nothing to be worrying about right now. Which, to be fair, probably that signal. Well, they've said it before that they didn't need to worry about him, and then they did. So I definitely understand that he doesn't take that at face value after everything that they've been through. But everything that's happened to Howard, man, it just breaks my heart, from the way they've had to set him up, the way they had to kind of like just leave his belongings out in the world to be found, to carry on the lie that Jimmy and Kim have been spreading about him, and that'll just be how he's remembered. Now, the final big old question mark for us is what happens to Kim? I'm so scared, man. But guys, we got this episode and 4 more, and I believe we will be done with the series. So with that said, guys, we're going to go ahead and hop into the episode. If you're part of the 67% of people that are watching the channel, you're not yet subscribed, maybe you're tuning in for the first time here today, really appreciate it if you enjoy this reaction. Maybe you'll stick around, hit that subscribe button, and leave a like. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see the full-length, unedited reaction to this, you can check it out in watch-along format over on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, it gets you access as well. Just one of the ways you help support us, help us work towards expanding the types of things we do on the channel. And along with the watch along for this, you also get the same thing for all the other shows we cover, as well as a bunch of full-length movie reactions where you guys get to help pick what we add to that list every month. We got the polls up right now for this month's picks, so go check those out. Along with that, we got monthly Q&As, behind-the-scenes footage, trying to make it worth your while since you guys are going out of your way to help us out. But of course, I know not we can do that, and a simple way you can help us is just by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing these videos, because it really does go a long way with helping us with the YouTube algorithm. With that all said and out of the way, gang, let's go ahead and hop into episode 9, Fun and Games. Here we go. Is this the very next day? Ooh. Ooh, that transition. Man, Vince Gilligan, Peter Gould, their entire team in this show are cinematic geniuses. The way they cut together things, the way they direct all this stuff, write it out. I know they're not behind everything. They always know who to hire to make the stuff work, but there's always just these beautiful, creative ways they work the camera into the shots. Like, look at that, man. Oh, their Howard board. Yeah. Yep, I mean, they told them go along their lives. Get them to their places that they needed to be in the next morning and just put on the performance of the lifetime. Forgot what he said. It was like Meryl Streep and whoever. Keep on telling and living the lie. Damn. Man, it's a nice fridge, man. I got a bit of an upgrade out of it. I have that humidifier. Like it never happened. This definitely seems to be hitting Kim a lot harder than it's hitting Jimmy. That's 2 or 3 scenes now where he's been the one first to step away while Kim lingers in the moment.
We'll wake up and brush our teeth and we'll go to work. And at some point we'll suddenly realize that we haven't thought about it at all. We'll know we can forget.
That was the line that played at the end of last episode. This looks like Don Eladio's place. Better keep up appearances, man. No signs of weakness.
Pero desapareció. Esto fue obra del pollero. Don Eladio, mire a Fring a los ojos. Allí verá la verdad. El pollero lo odia.
I don't know, man. He's got quite the poker face.
Contra de nosotros. Yo exijo sangre por sangre.
It's all hearsay, man. You got no proof, though.
¿Y qué me dices de esa rata, Varga?
Él dijo que los peruanos le pagaban los odios. Sabemos que recibía dinero. Encontramos las cuentas bancarias.
He's covered his tracks, man.
Y quién sabe, a lo mejor unas de las chicas te visitarán. Por favor.
God, man. Don't worry, buddy. You'll get your comeuppance. Not that you don't deserve your fair share either. It's always like, the show always flips a lot of it. It's like, should I root for Hector? Should I root for fucking Gus? I don't know, man. Fuck it.
No quiero que me arruine el desayuno con el... Ting, 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 ting. Cuando te miré los ojos, el odio. Un poquito. No está mal. Siempre y cuando no te olvides de quién manda.
That shit was tense, though. Oh, he needs a drink. Can't blame him, man. That spot, man. Actually gets to walk through his own house. Windows and shit open. It's gotta be a different kind of feeling, man. Unless he's going right back to his hideout.
When can construction resume?
We need to find a new engineer and a crew to do the work. That could take some time.
Start today.
Staying in his side. No double needed now. At least for now. Oh, those subtle, like, lingering shots with Mike, man.
Remarkable.
That meaty, it's almost bloody flavor. The soil is all iron oxide and manganese. You can taste it in the glass, right?
That's kind of eerie. If it would have like a blood taste to it. Fitting, though.
And I must say, you paint a compelling picture.
Mr. Fring.
Gustavo.
Gustavo.
I'm saving it for a special occasion.
Well, I would love to hear about it. Hold on, there's something I have to show you. The owner bought a bottle of Eagle. I can't open it.
Oh, of course.
But the bottle itself is... You'll appreciate this. I'll be right back.
Brett, would you let David know that I've been called away?
Of course, Mr. Fring. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Damn, that's like the most like pure joy / happiness I think we've ever seen him exude. And then he's got to, seems like he's just got to deny himself it. Damn. It was a beautiful scene, though. Made me really want to drink some wine. Nobody's really got a moment of peace at all, even though everybody's carrying the weight of it all in a different way. Oh, it's Mike calling him.
Varga, you don't know me, but I'd like to talk about your son.
What happened?
Maybe we could talk face to face.
Wow. It's the only way Mike could do it, man. He's lost a boy. He knows.
Your son made some mistakes. He fell in with bad people, but he was never like them. Not really. He had a good heart. There'll be justice.
Ustedes son el cartel. Hizo justicia. Todos son iguales.
We'll just put in an appearance. 20 minutes tops. We can get through 20 minutes of anything.
Is it a memoriam? Oh, no.
They're changing their name.
Changing their name to what?
Bruckner Partners? Something like that. End of an era.
Wow.
I heard she took a leave from her practice.
Maybe we should go pay our respects.
Rich, good to see you. Wish it was under better circumstances.
You too, Kim. Take care.
Man, I wonder how she even feels, because it's not like she was giving him much damn thought before all this went down, but who knows? Tragedy can crack walls. Because we really didn't see much of their marriage at all, except for that one little window.
I don't care what the police think. Howard was not on drugs. That simply is not true. There's something more to this.
I don't know if it's my place.
Please, just spit it out.
She's gonna gut punch her, I think.
It was about a year and a half ago. I was still an associate here, working late on a brief.
Oh no, she's gonna make something up.
I didn't know what to do, so I just walked out. And the next morning when we saw each other, neither of us said anything about it. I never told anyone, but now I wish I had.
Damn.
In all the years that you worked with him, have you witnessed anything like this? Even a hint, Cliff?
He can't say for certain after everything they did, man.
You were his wife. You saw him every day. You knew him better than anyone. Maybe I misunderstood what I saw. You would have known. Please excuse me.
God. I thought she was going to be like, how would you even know? You guys would never talked. I thought she was going to take a cheap shot at their relationship. But no, man, she sold the lie. Meryl Streeping it up. Man. My God, this episode is just grinding my soul down, man.
You're requesting to withdraw from this case?
My client is fully informed, and I've already been in touch with another attorney, Paige Novick, and familiar with the case. She's prepared to step in if you'll allow it.
Wow, interesting.
Then I'll consider late arriving petitions.
I'm sorry for wasting the court's time, Your Honor, but it's impossible for me to continue with this hearing because I'm no longer an attorney.
Sorry, what?
What? Wow. Did he hear about it?
You did what? Why? All right. This is your life. You're a lawyer. What about your clients, huh? They need you.
It's already done.
Oh. So I'm gonna go get your printer, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here.
What, Jimmy? Jimmy!
Ooh. That kiss was either a goodbye or a test to see if she's still got that spark still after all of this.
Tell me what I need to do to change, okay? Just tell me what it is and I'll do it.
Jimmy.
No, Kim, you make me happy. We make each other happy. That psychopath came back from the dead and he walked through that door. He did this, not us.
I knew.
You knew what?
I knew he was alive.
All right.
You'd want us to run and hide until you were sure I was safe, and then, we'd break up. And I didn't want that.
Wow. Jesus. Yeah. Are we flashing forward a little?
Tissue damage gets my client. Hey, you're not listening. My client isn't just suing your company. He's coming after you.
So, theoretically, Kim is still out there. Oh, good lord.
Pay up now or another public masturbator? Which one?
Oh, no.
A new guy? Huh. Everyone must be doing it.
No, or not. I thought that was the Badger thing.
Mono, it's what the Beatles used. It's ancient. Look, I sound like I'm in a well inside of a cave. Screw the FCC. I'll go to the man with those pencil pushers. Oh. This is textbook.
What?
All right. Let justice be done, though the heavens fall.
This episode, what do we got? What's this?
And ready, set, action. Move, move, move.
We're back at the mall.
2 Air Jordan shoes for you. 3 linen shirts for free. 4 cashmere sweaters out the door. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Damn. Fuck. These things always trick me. They're just these little, like, nuggets. So we're finally, that previous sting kind of hinted where we were going trajectory-wise with this episode. So that one, I have to imagine we're finally going to be jumping up and dealing with, or at least revisiting, the present day Saul back at the mall, seeing who's about to call. This episode, though, was so somber. Like, the ending of the last episode was, but that just carried out in this entire episode. Like, everybody trying to move on. Gus, Mike, Saul, Kim, everybody that's been a part of this trying to move forward. But still, there's this thing pecking at the back of their heads that's just weighing them down. Mike, his was what happened with Nacho, to the point where he had to go address that with his father, give him that peace of mind, and maybe even try to soften the blow a little bit, or offer some reassurance that, you know, he'd be safe and that justice, their justice, would be had. And it will eventually, though in a very different way than they probably would have intended. But both players involved in his downfall get taken off in one swoop. You know, Hector and the whole scene with Gus in the beginning where, you know, Hector had nothing. He had nothing except hearsay and his accusation to back up what he was saying about Gus. And Eladio kind of could see that hatred. He knows. He has to know. He's definitely got to know, because he took his brother away, his best friend, his partner. And that's what this is all about, is getting his way up the chain for Gus. But it's just interesting to see, like, the chains and the connections where everybody ends up later. And, like, even with him going to that place, ordering the wine, bringing over that particular waiter that he's talked to before, and seeing, like, the legitimate joy he's getting out of this conversation, and seeing a side of Gus we have not seen before, which was interesting. And it was like the only moment I think I've ever seen, like, actual joy, an emotion other than just the businessman or anger or whatever across his face. And then, just like with Mike, just like with Kim, there was that itching in the back of his mind that he can't allow himself this peace. He's not done. You know, he's just won a battle. The war is still long and far off from being over. So I don't know. Like any time we're talking to Gus, who knows what's going through his head. But in that moment, he loves this dude's stories. He smiles. He's genuinely interested. And I think in more ways than one is kind of the way where they were kind of hinting it in that. But that no matter what it's not a life he can have right now. It's not a connection he can have right now. And he gave himself a taste, just like with the wine, a taste, before he retreated back into his solitude. I mean, honestly, Jimmy is bothered by this, but we've seen in the past 2 episodes, after these certain things have played out in the ways they have, that he's just ready to move on, put it behind him. Just like when Chuck died, just ready to move on, put it behind him. It's just an inconvenience in their day. Does he feel bad about it? Yeah, but he's not hung up on it. Kim is. And through this realization, like we saw like her get swept up in the adrenaline that is being with Jimmy, that is pulling off these scams, that brings her back to this point in her childhood, which I'm sure she knew then was not the direction she wanted to be going. And she got caught back up in that cycle. And I think also in this, she's realizing out of this whole situation that maybe Chuck was right. Jimmy just can't change. To be fair, I think he would have been up the right way, but had he had that support from maybe Howard, maybe if he had that support from Chuck, maybe this outcome could have all been prevented. But then again, we're not going to play the blame game or the domino game as to where, how, or when this fell apart. Thing is, right now, Kim had a revelation in this moment. We saw that in hints and details, unspoken details, just purely through her performance, the framing, the blocking, and the scenes, about how this is affecting her in a much more powerful way than it has affected Jimmy. And she can't move forward. And we don't know exactly what happened to her, where she went or whatever, but it does at least imply, seemingly, she just had to leave Jimmy. We saw her packing. Like, seems like regardless of whether she told him about Lalo or not, the end game goal was, at least in her mind, was that they would not be together once this was all said and done. Once Lalo came back into the picture, there was no outcome in which they would be able to survive this as a couple. Yeah, it broke my heart. But like, to save the lie, to perpetuate the lie, to continue it, you know, that whole sequence with them at Howard's life celebration, whatever you want to call that, the little party at HHM, where they had to just continue to sell it, and especially when she has to sell it to his wife. Even though we didn't get the best impression of her right out of the gate, we have a little bit of a tribalism bias, of course, since we've been with Howard all this time, to kind of see how he's being treated in that situation. But we don't know the full scope of that because we never really got to live in it all that much until we were building up to Howard's downfall to give us a little bit more of a swift kick in the nuts in our feelings towards him once it all kind of went down the way it did. And, you know, you can see it. She's powering through it. She's doing everything she needs to do to make sure that this sells the way it sells, but she can't keep being drugged into these situations. And Jimmy's like this black hole that keeps her swinging in his gravitational field, man. She's got to break away. I don't know. It feels, it really does make it in the end seem like Chuck was kind of right in the end, whether Jimmy was trying or not. It's like whether it's Jimmy's well-meaning or not, the universe was keeping him in that pocket, like keeping him in that destiny, keeping him into forming into Slippin' Jimmy and Saul Goodman, to where we see that transformation after when we can, that the end of that scene with Kim zipping up her bags as we cut forward in time to Saul in his mansion, starting up his morning routine with prostitute and just moving along, doing his thing. Balding as he is, covering it up, his goatish lifestyle as he just moves forward. Performances in this, man, it's just so fucking good. But Kim's theoretically still out there, at least. Maybe the one survivor of all of this chaos. I don't know, man. What if he runs into her just at this mall that he's been working at? Wouldn't that be something? We got to cut back to that eventually and see how that comes into play. This show's so good at playing with our expectations and playing around the things we know that have to come, but in a way that it keeps us on our toes. It pays those things off. I saw a really good quote. It was from a headline talking about how this show doesn't, unlike other prequels, this show doesn't wield its predecessor in a way that's manipulative. It wields it as a weapon. And I love that because it does. It uses our knowledge of Breaking Bad against us to keep us guessing, to keep us distracted and on our toes as this story dips and weaves through these narratives, man. And it's just so well crafted. On top of like I said, the cinematography, the camera work, the way these shows are put together, man. This El Camino, Breaking Bad, in general, Vince Gilligan's X-Files episodes, man, like choice stuff, man. But guys, there's a lot to kind of ponder about this episode, a lot to have sink in. So I'm going to pass it off to you guys. How do you feel about the episodes? What's your interpretation of some of these scenes, and fill in the gaps in the way you think? So sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Feel free to join our Discord. We can talk about it there as well. Links to that in all the social description box below. Follow me in each and every one of those. Remember, if you want to see the full-length reaction to this and watch along format, it's going to be on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, it gets you access as well. And speaking of, before you go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Mandy Sherritt, Ryan Karen, Jason Coleman, Billy Vane, Yori, Corey Scott, Margaret Grace, Mary Bradley, Melita, Robert Aguiano, Cal Kestis Nation, and Raven McCann. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. But that's it for this episode, guys, and I'll see you all next week with the next one. Take care, everybody.